kind of crazy today. I just got off work. Wasn't even planning on filming, but we did a thing. An impulsive thing. Maybe not be a good thing, but a thing nonetheless. And you only live once, so you might as well do the bad things now, right? That being said, let's go show you what we're talking about.
Meet Pearl, our new boat. Wait, let's start at the beginning. It all started with Dylan's bright idea.
Maybe if I buy a Scratchers on the way home, I can afford this boat.
You know what I want?
And
I
then
want to
he
get a
told
boat.
me
I
about
wanna go
it.
on the water and just
A
relax.
boat? What kind of boat?
Babe, what about this one?
And I really wanted to be supportive of his dreams, so I tried to weigh the pros and cons of everything.
His dream has been to own a boat. Plus, we get a family boat for summers. We've never owned a boat. We don't know what to look for. We have no clue what we're doing.
I quickly realized we needed a really cheap boat with a trailer, with the paperwork, and hopefully had seats. The odds were stacked against us, so I stayed up all day and all night until finally I found it. I came across this listing on OfferUp, and the price said $0.
That's great.
So I quickly messaged him, and I made sure it was still available, that it had its paperwork, and that the price did in fact say $0. Because originally he was asking for $2,000. And if it wasn't already the gift that keeps on giving, he even wanted us to go look at it that same day. And all our other offers at that point had ghosted us. So I drove my butt over there right after work, made it 2 minutes late, and there she was. And she looked exactly like the photos, and they had the title and registration on hand. And that's how we ended up with a free boat.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
First things first, I had a tax baby. And right after, we settled everything at the DMV for the boat and the trailer. Now let's get to it. We had to stop off at Home Depot for some supplies that we didn't have. And because this is our first time, unfortunately, this is just something that we had to suck up, even though it did add to our boat restoration total. And again, we have never owned a boat before. We have never done a boat restoration before. Honestly, we have no idea what we're doing. We watched a lot of YouTube videos, shout out to Boat Busters, and we're just gonna try to apply the knowledge that we've learned and hopefully learn a new skill while we're at it. Luckily for us, Dylan and I are both very hands-on DIY. We love learning new things. We are very fast learners. So I'm really confident that we can do most of this stuff, if not all of this stuff, by ourselves. And I have done a lot of research. So first things first, even though we already paid for the registration for the boat and the trailer, we are going to make sure that this boat is salvageable before we put another dollar into it. Our main concern was the engine, so first order of business, we're gonna see if the engine even cranks. This is what the inside of the boat is looking like. We have the seats mostly intact, they're really run down. Honestly, the boat I think just needs a lot of TLC, but we came up with a lot of stuff. We even found some flares. It also had buoys, life vest, fire extinguishers. I mean, it had a lot of supplies in the boat itself. And I started off with giving the boat a little cleaning. There was a lot of debris in here, and I have really bad OCD. I like to work in a clean area, so I really wanted to just see what I was working with and get all the debris out of the way. While I was doing that, Dylan was working on pulling up the floorboards. And while we were cleaning, we found a lot more supplies. We had a bunch of tools, spark plugs, lubricants, you name it, it was probably in there. Maybe take out the teak from the boat so we could sand it down later. And this is how the boat was looking after a little cleaning. The engine did seem to move when we tried the pulley system, so that was very good news. But one of the batteries was dead, so we did have to replace that, and we also had to replace the ignition switch because we initially did not get the keys when we picked up the boat. and these seats are in rough condition. We are going to have to replace this wood, but I'm glad that we have the old wood so I can get the measurements from that and I don't have to start from scratch. Good morning once again. You know, I had to tax my baby before we did any work on the boat. And honestly, we were really only able to do cleaning yesterday. It kind of took most of our day, so I brought in an extra pair of hands. Or should I say, paws. And I'm not gonna lie guys, at first Dylan was taking forever to back this boat up, but he's actually getting the hang of it now. And while we were doing this, Lily was thoroughly inspecting the boat underneath for cracks. And we were trying to figure out how to put this canopy up so it could block some of the sun. And we clearly didn't do it right because it fell on me right after. And although we did power wash the boat and give it a good cleaning yesterday, I am going to go over it once again because there's a mess again. I blame this guy in the white shirt. And after I was done cleaning, baby installed the new battery that we just purchased so that we could try and turn on the boat.
Go.
It's turned off. Okay,
What do you mean it's turned off?
the battery's turned off.
Oh.
And once we figured out how to turn the battery on, the boat turned on. And the speakers worked as well, which we were honestly really surprised about because the old owners weren't even confident that they would work. So we had to share the news and have a dance party to celebrate. And then we let Lily on the boat so she could picture herself on the lake. Afterwards, baby started working on doing the oil change. And we were supposed to record everything, but we honestly ended up getting stuck and we could not figure out where the last screw was to pull off this unit. And if that wasn't bad enough, every single YouTube video that we watched warned us about keeping everything aligned, otherwise it would cause problems later on when you're trying to put the unit back in. And somehow we ended up unaligning things and it took 5,000 years to get everything back in. We ended up finishing up around 2:30 in the morning. To say Lily and I were tired is an understatement.
Thank you for the love and support. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Click the like button. Turn on your notifications. Stay tuned for our next video.
Bye.